Hello everyone and welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Mel and I hope you are having a fantastic day. Today is an exciting video because I am going to be participating in the magical readathon. This is a school-based readathon hosted by G over at Book Roast. She has an amazing document and all sorts of great explanations into how this works. So I will leave it linked for you guys down in the description box. But basically you create a character, you go to school, you have a spring semester and a fall semester. Normally, I just kind of do this as I make a TBR, I go off a character that would do exactly what I would do, and we just make a TBR and roll with it. This year, I really wanted to go all in. I wanted to give it my all and just really try to go hard and participate because it's a readathon that I want to be all in for, but I always find myself prioritizing other things. So this year, I started from scratch and I made me a character that is a little different from myself. She's everything that I would want to be. If you dropped me into a fantasy novel, this is the girl that I would want to be. This is Thana. And Thana is headstrong, she is inquisitive, she is a self-starter, and she is wanting to become a Feywild cartographer. And the reason that she wants to become one of these is because she was actually attacked in the lands that are trying to be mapped out by some unknown creature. She barely survived, but she did survive, and now she is wanting to help map these lands, even though it's really dangerous, so that hopefully someone else doesn't have to go through what she went through. She is part of the Guild of the Arcane, which focuses heavily on the science of magic. They are very logic-minded, they are very inquisitive, and always looking into things a little bit deeper. Her conduit, or the thing that helps her use her magic, is going to be a sword, naturally. And her legacy is going to be the Monocle of Vigilance, which basically allows her to determine if someone is a foe or a friend. So in order to become a Feywild cartographer, she is going to have to complete 7 courses, and she didn't mean to pick something this hard, but she is an overachiever, so here we are. The first school of magic that we have is Elemental Studies, and the course focus on this is to call lightning, and you must find a book with a source of light on the cover. So for this one, I'm going to be going with Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. This is a book that I have been dying to read ever since I heard Rachel from Raven-Haired Reader talk about it. I feel like this has enough of a source of light on the cover. It's definitely like smoke and fireflies and flames. This is supposed to be a very slow burn fantasy romance, and I've just heard nothing but good things about it. We have a mortal world that has been colonized by gods, and it says when old secrets catch fire, everything will burn. I am just so incredibly hyped to read this, and so I had to make sure that it ended up on the TBR. Then our next school of magic is shape-shifting, and our focus is mimics, and this is to read for an author that blurbed your last 5-star read. Here's the problem with this. I haven't had a 5-star read that is not an indie in quite some time, actually at all this year. 5 stars for me, I don't give out a lot of, and indie books typically don't have blurbs, so that makes this course really, really hard for me to complete. I am going to be getting a B in this course, I think, and going with the next best thing. So I looked at my last high 4-star read that was a traditionally published book, and that ended up being Heartless Hunter was the next 4-star. And on Heartless Hunter, Rachel Gilling had blurbed it, so I'm going to be going with One Dark Window for this one. I've heard incredible things about this book. It is a young adult fantasy where Elizabeth needs a monster, and the monster might just be her. I think it's got the trope of like something in your head talking to you, which is one of my favorite tropes of all time. I've just heard incredible things about this. Everyone has been shouting at me to read it, so even though I'm going to be getting a B in this class, I hope I really enjoyed this book. Then we have Animal Studies, which focuses on pebble ducks. I don't exactly know what pebble ducks is, but that's to read a book with a yellow title. And for this one, I think I'm going to be going with The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. Again, this is a fantasy that I've been hearing so many good things about. It is like Watson and Holmes style, make it a little bit murder mystery type fantasy. People have been raving, ranting, and just shouting about this one, and so I cannot wait to finally pick this up. And this just whole no dust jacket hardcover thing is exactly what I needed in my life. Next up we have Astronomy, and that's Constellations 3, and that is to find a book that is based off or on a recommendation for your zodiac sign. This one was a little bit more challenging for me, but I did manage to find a post on Instagram, I will leave it up here for you guys, recommending books for Aquarius. I am just barely in Aquarius, but I am. And for this one, I think I'm going to be choosing Chaos. and going with the book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole. This is one that I started. I read about 30% of it and ended up DNFing it, but it really wasn't at the best time in my life. It's an urban fantasy with like gods and demons, and I just heard some incredible things about it, so I'm wondering if it was me, not the book. And I have heard that it takes a little bit of time to get into, so I'm planning to restart this one, give it my all, and hopefully I will end up loving it this time. Next up we have Alchemy, which is transmutation circles, and the prompt for this is to find a book with a circle on the cover. For this one I'm going to be going with Deathless by Rob J. Hayes. This is the next book in the trilogy of trilogies. It is the one set 1,000 years before Harold, which is the like main thread in the series, and it is a fantasy book about angels and demons. I really enjoyed, I think it was Demon was the first one that I read that was 3,000 years before. Had a fantastic time with it. And so I'm very excited to read this kind of middle one. I've heard that it was incredible. I've seen some 5-star reads from it, so I'm just beyond excited to pick this one up. And Trilogy of Trilogies, it's basically like this set of trilogies that spans 3,000 years. So you have like 3,000 years, 1,000 years, and present day. And it's just such a cool project to take on. I cannot wait to see how it all unfolds. For the next prompt, we have Inscription, and it's practical typography, which the prompt is to pick 3 titles, fold, and then pick from those 3 titles. So the 3 titles that I'm going to be choosing between were based off of my video of unread books, where you guys left me comments on what you wanted me to read. So I picked 3 of those, and then I picked 3 books from those 3 comments to put into this little pile. The first one was The Darkness Before Them by Matthew Ward. This is a fantasy that I think has got a heist in it, and it sounds really, really cool. So I've been wanting to pick this one up. And then we also had The Pariah by Anthony Ryan, which I think is a revenge-based story. And there's a demonic apocalypse. I've heard lots of good things about this one. And the last one is one that tons of people have been shouting at me to read, which is The Wolf by Leo Carew, which I think has 2 like opposing sides, and they are at war with one another. I've written them down on my little pieces of paper. We're just gonna do like this, and we are going to pick one and see what we get. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, Darkness. So we're going to be going with The Darkness Before Them by Matthew Ward. This one I'm beyond excited about. I love a good heist. I've been hearing really good things about this, and the second book comes out relatively soon, so I'm excited to be able to pick this one up in preparation for the sequel. And then last but not least, we have Demonology, Pacts and Contracts, and this is to pick a book that you did not pay for. For this one, I think I'm going to be going with Flame and Sparrow by S.M. Gaither. This is one that I think was gifted to me by Bree. Bree gifted this one to me. I have a special edition coming of this. This is an Apolycon author, an author that I've read from before, but I didn't love Song of the March, so I really wanted to pick this one up and give this author another chance. It says, on the eve of her 20th birthday, Karis woke to the sight of divine creature dying outside of her home. I know that there is like a phoenix type creature, I think, in here, something like that, and I'm just really excited to read this. It's a chunker, but I've heard that it's a lot of fun and reads really fast, so I think it's going to be a great time. Okay guys, so this is my magical readathon TBR. It's a little bit more ambitious than I wanted it to be, considering I'm not going to have a whole lot of time to read in April, but Thana is more confident than I am, and she says she's got this. So we're going to let her read. We're going to let her pass hopefully all of her classes with a B at the maximum in 1, and we're just going to have a great time seeing what all I can get to before the end of the month. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I really want to know what your character is, what guild you are, what calling you're going to be down in the comments below. So leave me all of that information down there. If you want to check out one of my more recent reading vlogs, I will leave it up here for you guys. And as always, links to my Patreon, Instagram, Twitter, and Goodreads are all in the description box below. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!